7:30 this morning, Governor Jay Inslee has issued a ban on all gatherings and businesses unless it is essential to the healthy functioning of our community. This morning, what this new order means for you. Also, a shortage in masks is proving to be an issue for healthcare workers nationwide. Some are even having to use protective gear more than once. Today, we explain why local hospitals are not taking homemade masks. Good morning, I'm Joshua Robinson. We are tracking breaking news this morning. Japan's Prime Minister says that the International Olympics Committee's president has agreed to postpone the Olympics for 1 year. Committee members originally said that it would make a decision over the next 4 weeks. Now, the Olympics were set to begin on July 24th, but plans are now in the works for the Games to start at some point in 2021. Of course, this is an ongoing story. We will bring you the latest right here on Up with KREM. 7:31 on the dot this morning, and Washington Governor Jay Inslee has issued that stay-at-home order for all state residents. So today we continue practicing social distancing here on Up with KREM, just like so many of you who have to work from home. Our own Jen York gets a chance to work from home today. Good morning, Jen. You're joining us live from your kitchen. A much cozier seat, I would imagine, than some of the seats we have here in the studio.
This one has a back to it.
That's
so
right.
Yes, it is a lot more comfy. Hey, and you know what we also have at home? We have windows. What people at home don't know is we're kind of in a big brick building. So I can see outside, I see blue skies, I hear birds chirping. It's okay to be working from home. I'm kind of digging it. Yeah, so let's talk about this stay-at-home order that Washington Governor Jay Inslee has issued and what it entails. Now, Washington is about part of 12 states that are issuing these stay-at-home orders. And so let's take a look at what he had to say about what we need to pay attention to.
We want to get back to normal as soon as possible. We do not want this lingering intrusion in our lives. And the fastest way to get back to normal is to hit this hard. And that's what we're doing.
So the governor's order is now in effect. It will apply tomorrow to businesses. They were allowed a little bit of leeway, about 2 days, to tie up any loose ends. So that order is expected to be in place for at least 2 weeks. State leaders say they'll reassess at the end of that 2-week period to determine if this needs to be extended. But for right now, it's only in place for 2 weeks. So let's break down what this means for our day-to-day lives. Only essential businesses will be allowed to stay open, and that includes things like grocery stores, banks, gas stations, pharmacies. Restaurants can still offer takeout. We heard Chef Adam Hegstead saying you can still order from a number of different restaurants in town. I know we did our part last weekend, hit up a number of different places. It's still very easy to do. That part hasn't changed. Now, state leaders, though, are urging people not to rush the essential businesses and hoard all the supplies. They're really encouraging everyone to live as you normally would. You basically just stay at home, work from home and stay at home as much as you can. Here's what we can do, though. We can still go outside for a walk and exercise, get some fresh air. You'll just need to stay 6 feet away from others. Roads and transportation will still be open, but again, people are discouraged from using them unless it's an essential trip. Now, here's where you're probably going to feel it most here. During the stay-at-home order, private and public gatherings are banned, and that includes church services, weddings, and funerals. So this morning, the Spokane Police Department is weighing in. Leaders say officers are not punishing those who break the rules. The department does not plan to detain, arrest, or ticket people. Instead, officers are supporting Governor Inslee's orders by educating the community about how to comply. The department released a statement, and it reads in part, "Self-regulating and heeding the governor's order will allow our police to continue its strong focus on crime prevention and public safety." Of course, this is new for our community and for the state. There's a lot of questions from you at home. I was talking to our producers, and they say we're just getting flooded with questions, so I know a lot of you have those. So we've made it very easy for you. If you can text HOME to our text line, it's 509-448-2000. We'll send you back information that details exactly what is and what is not considered essential business. And hopefully will answer some of your questions. I know we have a lot of people asking the same thing. So again, text HOME to 509-448-2000 and we'll work to get some of those questions for you, answered for you. Now, from the White House, President Trump has signaled he wants the economy to be back in full swing as quickly as possible. During a coronavirus task force briefing, the president announced his administration will reevaluate the 15-day social distancing guideline they issued earlier this week.
The problem itself. We're not going to let the cure be worse than the problem. If it were up to the doctors, they may say, let's keep it shut down. Let's shut down the entire world.
Now, the president says when the 15 days are up, he plans to issue new guidelines on how to return to a normal life. Several state governors are calling on the president to use the Defense Production Act right now to compel businesses to make some much needed medical supplies. And this morning, we do want to share some new information about coronavirus with you. First here, the Washington Department of Health reports there are now 29 COVID-19 cases in Spokane County. Right now, there are no deaths reported in the county. Statewide, though, doctors confirmed 2,200 cases and the death toll is now 110. Of the nearly 34,000 tested, though, in the state of Washington, experts say 93% of people tested negative. And this morning, across state line, all Idaho schools are now closed until April 20th. The Idaho State Board of Education ordered all schools to implement soft closures. Schools will need to follow guidelines set by the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention. Districts will still need to provide essential services, though, like food services and childcare. Districts are expected to create remote learning plans as well for kindergarten through 12th grade. Now, today, the Senate will return for a third day to hash out a $2 trillion stimulus package. The legislative package is designed to provide economic relief to American workers and industries. Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell warned it could be several days, though, before the Senate comes to an agreement. Now, our coverage will continue throughout this morning. Of course, again, you can always text HOME to our text line 509-448-2000 for all the latest coronavirus information and hopefully get some of your questions answered for you this morning. In the meantime, I'm enjoying the view from home. I can see outside there's blue skies, birds chirping. My sweet baby Zelda, of course, is napping. She doesn't care that we're home. I'm loving it, though. Evan is also reporting from home this morning, making sure we have everything we need to know about the weather. How are we shaping up outside, Evan?
Well, so far so good, Jen. It's been really nice outside over the last couple of days, and we're continuing to stick with the trend of partly cloudy conditions. At times, those clouds thicken and bring in a few showers into the mix. So it really is dependent on where you are, where we see those showers move in. Right now, we're at 31 degrees, so things are looking really nice out there. Winds are still breezy, southerly winds at 8 miles an hour right now. Next 12 hours bring us to 49 degrees as that afternoon high. Notice that chance of showers that lingers all the way through the day between about 10 a.m. and 4 or 5 p.m. Our best chance is going to come right around the noon hour into 1 p.m. for a little bit of a drizzle to come through and before things start to clear up to mostly cloudy skies by the end of the day. Now, as I mentioned, right now things have been light for the most part. This is your view on radar, where we do see some showers on the west side of the state and building over the Cascades, but for the most part, the Panhandle is where we see just a little bit of light snow. We'll continue with showers into the afternoon and then see them intensify tonight into tomorrow, which could lead to some snow showers even toward lowland elevations, but all in all, accumulations are staying under an inch really across the board, with those mountains picking up on maybe an inch or two. Coming up in just a bit, we'll talk about some warmer temperatures that are on the way for the weekend, but for now, I will send things back to you.
Thank you very much, Evan. We'll check in with you throughout the rest of the morning to let everyone know what they can expect in their morning commute as well. Good to see you working from home, though, bud. Right now, hospitals nationwide are experiencing a shortage of surgical masks, including some right here in Spokane County. Now, we have heard reports that some supplies are even being reused at some Providence hospitals. So a number of organizations have stepped up to help, in part by making masks. This morning, Nicole Hernandez joins us to explain why local hospitals are not taking those homemade masks. Good morning, Nicole.
Yeah, good morning, Joshua. So Sacred Heart actually tells us that they can't use those homemade or hand-sewn masks because they have to use equipment that they know has been sanitized. So what they're doing to help with this shortage is they're actually starting to reuse some of their personal protective equipment, but they're being very strict with what they use. According to a spokesperson from the hospitals, only workers are re-wearing any masks that were cleaned. Patients will not be using any of those masks, but Providence leaders do say that after getting cleaned, the products are, quote, as safe and functional as brand new ones. So according to the Washington State Nurses Association, the Federal Strategic National Stockpile has sent Washington several gloves and masks and suits and other personal protective equipment, and the state will now be distributing those to the rest of the counties as soon as possible. Live in Spokane, I'm Nicole Hernandez.
Nicole, thank you very much for that update this morning. Coming up on 7:41 this morning, we also have an important reminder for you that patients no longer need a doctor's referral to get tested for coronavirus at the new drive-through testing center in Spokane at the Spokane Fairgrounds. Healthcare providers have loosened those screening parameters to include people who are considered high risk. That includes people over 60 years old, people who have an underlying medical condition, and any healthcare workers and first responders who have cared for someone who might have the virus. Now, the screening center is open daily from 10 a.m. to 8 p.m. So far, we've heard that there are 350 people reportedly that visited the test site since it opened last week. The new change is meant for people who have not been able to get tested, but say that they are experiencing coronavirus-like symptoms. Now, the Spokane Regional Health District is still advising for people to speak to a healthcare provider by phone or a virtual visit before they go to this drive-through clinic. Pullman Regional Hospital now also has their own testing site near its emergency center. Walmart is temporarily raising its pay. New hires in its fulfillment centers will get $2 more an hour through Memorial Day. That means that minimum pay could increase to between $15 and $19 per hour. Meanwhile, Target also investing more than $300 million in added wages. They're also offering up to 30 days paid leave for team members who are 65 or older in the United States, who are pregnant, or who have underlying medical conditions themselves. And a PhD researcher at Washington State University is currently stuck trying to get home from Honduras amid the coronavirus outbreak. Travis King says he spent the last 4 years in Honduras working with big cats like jaguars and other large animals, but travel restrictions have made it nearly impossible for him to get home. There is hope for King. He says he has a ticket home on a United Airlines flight, but if it does not get canceled, he could be returned home as early as Thursday. That's your Morning Rush. More news in less time. Let us know what's happening in your neighborhood by using the hashtag #UpWithKREM on social media. And while we're talking about social media, we're going to check in with our own Dana Marie McNichol for a feel-good story about a dog who is very happy to have his owner home. Good morning, Dana Marie. All right, it looks like we have lost connection with Dana Marie, but we can tell you about the story because yesterday, being National Puppy Day, we were talking about a certain pup who, of course, is happy to have his humans home this week. Meet Rollo, a 7-year-old dachshund from the UK. As you can see, very happy to have his owner staying home during the outbreak. So happy, in fact, that his tail actually stopped working from wagging it too hard in excitement. Now, his owner Emma took to Twitter to share that she took Rollo to the vet, and the vet says he had sprained his tail from excessively wagging it. Her post has been shared more than 139,000 times across Twitter. Emma has been sharing his recovery journey and shared the video with Rollo's progress as well. She also says he will be wagging his tail like normal in no time. I can imagine a lot of people feeling like their fur babies get that. Look at him, tail's going there. Oh, I love a recovery story like this. This is what we need more on Up with KREM. I think you should tell us if you have more videos like Rollo or any of your other pets that are excited to have you home as well. And speaking of staying home, we should all be staying home, of course, most of the time, but there are a few essential trips that everyone has to make amid the ongoing coronavirus pandemic. Coming up after the break, we will show you how certain stores are keeping their customers as safe as possible. We'll be right back.